going on, guys? We're in the office today. I want to make a quick video about medial epicondylitis, or golfer's elbow. So a lot of people come into the office complaining of elbow pain. Often self-diagnose, like, hey, I think I have tendonitis or golfer's elbow. Let me start by saying a lot of people I treat aren't golfing. They're not painting the fairways on weekends. With a lot of lifters, most of them can't get their hands together out front of their body, let alone swing a golf club. So how is it that they're getting golfer's elbow? Well, the common thought process with golfer's elbow or medial epicondylitis is that it's an overuse injury. You know, they'll come in, engineers or programmers, and oh, I put in the hard yards at work this week, and forearms flared up, low bar squatting, and it must be from work. It must be that overuse. It's like, listen, you type 13 words a minute. It's not overuse. It's a misuse injury. So oftentimes we just address the forearm. So we just address the flexors and pronators that tie into the medial epicondyle, the humerus. So this is sort of a rough mock-up of my right arm. So humerus, ulna, radius. So we're looking at sort of this lateral cross-section of my right arm. Now, so the medial epicondyle, let's say, it's right in here. So all the forearm flexors, everything ties in, pronators, flexor carpi ulnaris, all those muscles tie right in to this, but this is based on the humerus. So this is usually our whole thought process from here down in diagnosis and treatment. So it must be a forearm issue, it must be a wrist flexor issue, it must be a wrist pronator issue, but we forget that this attachment point, this medial epicondyle, is on the shoulder, is on the humerus, which at the other end acts from the shoulder. So we have a ball and socket joint dictating a hinge joint. So this ball and socket of the shoulder can handle rotation. So a lot of people, when they're typing or they're golfing, they're doing so in an internally rotated shoulder. So a lot of us spend a lot of our time, a lot of our daily posture in this internally rotated shoulder. Then when we go to open our palm up or to supinate or to flex to get this position where the hand is the palm up with the back of the hand parallel to the floor, then if that rotation can't come from the shoulder, it'll come from the elbow. So what happens is, imagine this medial epicondyle of the humerus, which is dictated in its position in space by where the shoulder is statically, being more internally rotated. So this humerus is getting pulled in, all the while we're trying to keep our palms up during activity, working out, you're doing your bicep curls or whatever. So we create this torsional stress that pulls this common insertion point of your flexor tendons away or further around in rotation. So a lot of times the fix with the thought process is you know, we're stretch our forearms and direct pressure, but that's treating symptoms. The cause of medial epicondylitis comes from static internal rotation of the shoulder. So if you're having elbow pain, I want you to do this quick test. So think of having both hands palm up, arms full flexion out front. And now if you're having elbow pain, you'll notice that when you get here, that one of your palms will be compensating from the wrist. So you'll have less external rotation in the shoulder that you're feeling elbow pain at. So try and get palms here. So say I was having pain in my right elbow, oftentimes what will happen, or 99% of the time what will happen, is the compensation, you'll notice more in a deviation of the wrist and actual less expression of rotation of the shoulder. So the ability to get externally rotated in a fully flexed position of the shoulder will allow for less torsional stress or less compensation and rotation through that hinge joint of the shoulder. So balancing rotational forces at the ball and socket, keeping a neutral shoulder will make it less necessary to compensate through that hinge joint of the elbow, which will decrease irritation of that common flexor tendon. So I want you to keep this in mind when you're lifting, when you're working out, when you're training, that making sure that your elbow pain isn't coming from an imbalance of the shoulder. So worry less about wrist extension or supination or pronation, and worry more about the cause of the problem. So stop treating symptoms and treat the actual cause. So something to keep in mind when you're lifting. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.